Hey guys, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Mike.
And we wanted to take a minute to talk about something with you guys. So at the end of our Life is Strange playthrough, things got like super deep for us. Like usually we're talking about boobs and butts, like the high quality Let's Players that we are. But I was swirling a wine glass as I said that. In case
yeah,
you
I can see it in my head.
Yeah,
I can see it. Yeah, I'm not at her place right now, so I can't actually see her fake swirling the wine glass. But continue.
It's like a giant wine glass. But yeah. So like we got really deep, and like instead we started talking about like LGBT like representation and like how the game was received and stuff. And I was like really happy with our playthrough of Life is Strange, partly because when we saw the two endings, Mike and I actually like we disagreed about something at the beginning, and then we got to talk about it for a while, and we came to like a nice like little agreement about it, and like we both learned something from each other, and it was like a really cool way to end the series, and I was really happy with it, so I was excited for you guys to see it. But then because some of you didn't watch the whole thing, like, you know, you just saw the first couple minutes and you were like, yeah, I'm gonna stop watching because Mike's being a meanie face or some shit.
Which I usually am, so you know, it's a fair
assumption.
Yeah.
But you weren't in that case, because like you were, but then we like talked about it, and then you came to understand my perspective and I came to understand yours, and it was really cool and touching, and I cried a little, I think. But
Aww.
I don't know. I don't know if you can hear it in the recording, but because some of you didn't watch the whole thing, you might have misinterpreted like the whole meaning of the conversation.
You might have thought she was crying because I beat her into submission.
Which she does.
No, what? No.
I know. I could kick his ass, and you've seen.
Well, yeah, but
you can guess. You all. Anyway, but yeah, it just sucks because like I'm real sad about it, I guess, and I just want to like talk about it, I guess, because I was really excited about it, and I thought you guys were gonna be really excited about it too, and then like you didn't watch the whole video, so then it kind of ruined it.
Well, I knew it was going to be controversial because everything I say is always controversial. No, I mean, I knew there was going to be some controversy. I'm actually shocked that there wasn't as much as I was expecting. Yeah. If I'm being perfectly honest. Because
sorry, go ahead.
No. I think that when either you or I should be talking, it should be you for this video. I think, specifically for this video, at least.
No, I guess I have more faith in YouTubers because like people who watch our videos. I guess I never thought like, why would they stop watching the video? You know, because I don't read comments and I don't like look at subscriber numbers and stuff like that. So I just kind of assumed
that's where you went wrong.
Like kind of, apparently.
No. but like, see, no, that's not even the problem because I mean, the reason I was expecting more is because in my life, whenever I've taken an opinion on a controversial issue or taken a controversial opinion, I usually bungle the execution of said opinion. So
bungle is such a fun word.
Bungle in the jungle.
Bunghole.
I tend to, you know, kind of not deliver my opinion well, or I deliver it in ways that are that can be easily misconstrued or found to be offensive. Blah, you know, it's a problem of mine, and so I was expecting that at the moment that we went into that topic, that there was just really no way for me to come out of it, you know, seeming, you know, good. So
yeah, because when you you know, when you argue with people, you know,
which of course
say
never
yourself,
happens.
No, of course not. No, it sometimes you are louder than you think you are, and I've had to like, you know, tell him sometimes when we're in stores or something, like, Mike, you're being loud, and he doesn't realize he's being loud.
And it's not just volume; it's also tone. But like that actually brings me to what I wanted to talk about myself. Something that I feel like I needed to say to people, which is that my talking over you and my having a loud volume. And this goes for if you meet me in real life too, or if you know me in real life. This is not confined to Jesse here. This is a problem I have. Is that my talking over you is not an attempt to silence you or to bully you into agreement. It doesn't necessarily mean aggression or anger or that I dislike you. it's just an awful habit of mine that I get from growing up in a Jewish family. And I don't mean I don't mean that like in a negative way necessarily. I'm not saying Jewish no, I literally I grew up in a Jewish family, and it's a very Jewish stereotypical thing that they talk over each other, and it's so second nature to us in that culture that nobody takes offense to it. It's just, it's just the way that you talk to each other. And so when I'm talking to other people, even when I'm not going on a rant necessarily, but even if I'm just having a discussion with people, if they say something that prompts me to feel like I need to say something, I just say it. I don't wait, or I can't wait for very long, or I'll lose my train of thought. So I feel compelled to say, well, hold on, you can't build on that one idea that I disagree with. I need to confront it now.
Yeah.
So it's a bad habit though, because most people did not grow up in such a family. And so they do interpret that as rude, and that's not an effective way to have an argument or to convince another person of something. So it is something that I need to work on. And so it doesn't excuse the way that I talk or the way that I have talked or will talk, but it is where it comes from. And it's just a thing that I'm constantly having to deal with. And, I'm probably going to wind up having to constantly have that in my mind and always keep an eye on it for the rest of my life. That's just how I grew up and how I am. But like in the second half of the discussion, which is probably after most of the people who didn't like the first half stopped listening, I once I had been given the sufficient time to lay out my point, Jesse, you had plenty of time to respond, and you did talk, and I did not talk over you nearly as much.
Right. Yeah. Like that's why it just like disappointed me so much that like some people stopped watching before we finished our whole discussion, and then they were just mad at you because they were like, well, he was aggressive at the beginning, and I'm not going to like. That's not the way.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want you to build off that, because this is what I'm talking about. Because it wasn't just the aggressiveness. I think that some people disagreed with me fundamentally.
Well, yeah, that too.
And because they're like, well, I disagree with everything he's saying here, so I'm not going to keep listening to this.
True, yeah. And I guess they didn't see the part where we like talked to each other and we, helped each other understand the other's perspective. And like you changed your opinion on some things and I changed opinions on mine, And
I also wasn't making my opinion very clear in the beginning.
Right. Because like that's why I don't know if you remember the video much, but I kind of like came at you, bro, because you I thought that you were talking about how I was saying, wow, the ending sucks because like it was just two tropes and that was it. And you responded by saying like, no, it was something I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you said something along the lines of, oh, I don't like that. I know that's not bad representation. And so I took that as the endings aren't bad representation. How dare you? And I was going to like come at you. And then you started explaining like, no, I mean like the whole representation as a whole in the whole game. Like Chloe isn't shamed for liking chicks and like they don't bring up their sexualities in any negative context at all. They are just, Chloe and Max are just characters, And once I understood that you were talking about that, I was like, well, shit, no, you're right about that. But the people who stopped watching, they just thought you were saying that the endings were okay. And yeah.
Yeah. And they were thinking that I was saying that your complaints about LGBT representation in general were unfounded, and that's not what I was trying to say either.
Yeah, and anyone can take a quote out of context and be like, he's the fucking devil, but that's not what he was talking about. So
Bernie Sanders says he's going to raise your taxes and give you health care, but that doesn't matter, like whatever.
No, he's raising our taxes, fuck him. So was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Or?
Yeah. So I mean, like sometimes I'm gonna be wrong about things. I know that's super shocking. Everybody's going, but I mean, I have been wrong in the past about things, and I will continue to be wrong about things sometimes. And when I die,
fucking dare you?
When I die, I will still be wrong about some things.
That's what I'm putting on your tombstone. Actually, on your tombstone, he was wrong.
Yeah, you would. I'll be gone by then, so who cares, right?
You can't stop me.
But I mean, this happens. Nobody's perfect, and the thing about people who are wrong is that they don't know that they're wrong. Because if they knew that they're wrong, they ditched that opinion that's wrong, so they'd stop being wrong. That's the whole thing, you know. Nobody knows that they're wrong. So the best way to combat that, you are wrong about things. Everybody's wrong about certain things. You listening to this, you're probably wrong about something, whether that be this issue or another thing or another thing or another thing.
I'm wrong about most things, actually.
Well,
I don't know geography or math or...
That's not being wrong about things. That's just being unknowledgeable. But anyway, my point is that the way that you combat being wrong is having honest, civil, open discussions about important issues. Because if you don't have that, people will just keep getting entrenched in their own beliefs, whether or not they're wrong or right. You can get entrenched in a correct belief. That's still not a good thing to do. Because, you know, if you're closed-minded, you will stop learning. You will stop increasing the percentage of your opinions that are correct. That's why it's so important to keep an open mind and to never immediately discount what people say for any reason. You know, like, I mean, look, I don't agree with Donald Trump about most things, but if Donald Trump says, hey, the sky is blue, I don't say, fuck you, Donald Trump, the sky is green and you just don't realize it. Because
who really knows?
I mean, you know, it's reverse argument from authority, basically. Either that or it actually has an argument name and I don't know it. But argument from authority is when you say, you know, I like Obama. Obama says the sky is green, therefore the sky is green.
We're using a lot of political analogies.
Well, you got to go for what people know, you know?
No one knows politics but you, Mike.
People know who Barack Obama and Donald Trump are. Don't give me that shit.
Who the fuck is Barack Obama?
So anyways, So if Obama says the sky is green, even if you like him, that doesn't make the sky green. And likewise, you know, just because Donald Trump says the sky is blue doesn't mean that the sky isn't blue if you don't like Donald Trump, and vice versa if you do like Trump and don't like Obama. So it's reverse argument from authority to say that that a person has a certain attribute and therefore they're right or therefore they're wrong.
And I'm like totally guilty of this as well because like, you know, just because Mike is like a straight white male doesn't mean his opinions are like automatically wrong or automatically right. It's just you have to get the opinion and then discuss whether it is right or wrong. And I remember when I thought that you were talking about the endings, I'm pretty sure I was like, dude, you don't get it because it's not you. You know, you're not in the demographic, which is true. But you weren't talking about the endings. You were talking about everything overall, the representation in the game. And you were right about that. And I was so distraught about the endings that I totally just didn't register in my mind how actually good the representation was in that game, because I am overall, so used to in media gay just being like a not normal thing, or like a, you know, like a abnormality. Is that a word?
Yes, yeah. Jesse, good job.
Thank you.
You get a Scooby snack.
I want a cookie, damn it. Don't give me fucking dog food. What was I saying?
All right.
I want a cookie now.
Okay, so that actually was what I also wanted to touch on. One of the last points I wanted to make. There was one comment on the video in particular. I don't know by who, but they said, I'm gonna quote them, that they because I wrote this down, that you know, why would I, you know, Mike, quote, know the concept of gays better than Jesse, end quote. And I could be completely reading this comment wrong, but if I am to interpret that as why does Mike think he knows more about gays than Jesse, I have to respond to that, because I don't know more about gays with regards to the reality of living as someone who is gay. I'm not gay. You are. You know more about living as a gay person than I ever will. That's a fact. However, that while being an insider on issues can give you very valuable perspective that outsiders simply just can't experience themselves, there is something called having an outsider's perspective. It's a common phrase for a reason, because when you have an outside perspective and you can step back and you can view something, you know, in its entirety or in its context, or without any emotional ties to something, like you were saying, you have emotional ties to these characters and stuff, and you were so upset by the ending that you weren't able to rationally evaluate, you know, the context of everything. And having an outsider's perspective allows me to do that. And both viewpoints are very valuable to each other, especially since I can't gain yours and you can't gain mine.
Right. And that's what was so cool about the fucking ending to the video. And I was so excited for people to see it. And then they were like, Mike's a douchebag. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you think that? And they're like,
I am, but you have to have good reasons for that. I mean, I am a douchebag. But
You can't just watch a minute of an argument and then be like, I don't want to see how it ends. I'm just going to assume Mike's a dick. Like, no, you can't do that.
And Jesse, I'm not saying that you're wrong about the experience of being gay. I'm not saying that you're wrong for wanting proper representation. Not what I'm saying. I agree with you that you should want proper representation and that we're not there yet, and that you know more about being gay than I do. But what I am saying is that as an outsider, it is easier for me to see this piece of media in the broader context of the timeline of fighting for gay rights and representation. Since I'm not emotionally invested in the characters in a same-sex relationship to the same degree that you are, I can make an argument that this is still a step forward for LGBT representation in the context of this time period, where 5 years ago, it was still political suicide for a politician to be for gay marriage.
Right. And I totally agree with you on that, which is what was so cool about the video. And I'm so mad at people. God damn it. I can't get over how mad I am, but hopefully I am keeping myself composed.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I can't even tell. Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't want to talk anymore.
Sorry,
anyways,
continue.
I don't want to talk anymore anyways, because I'm a straight white guy and what I say doesn't matter. So Jesse, you end the video.
Yes, obviously. How dare you speak, and you should die. Anyway,
I'll stop breathing so you guys can have the air.
I need all of it, please. I'm too busy running after girls. I need all the oxygen.
How you say that as if it's a joke or something.
It's not a joke.
Not a joke.
I'm always chasing women. Thank you for watching this video. I hope we cleared up things for a few of you that might have not, seen the whole thing or might not have understood it or might have misinterpreted it. But there you go. So hopefully...
Actually, I do want to say one more thing. I'm sorry.
God damn it, Mike. That's what got us into this mess.
Just like a straight white male, you say something and then you go back on it right afterwards. That's how we took America from Native Americans.
You have to pretense whatever you're going to say with actually.
Well... Actually,
there we go. Okay, continue.
Malay. Okay, so, but I did want to say that I was the one who wanted to make this video a lot because, and one of the reasons is that I'm the one who has to answer for what happened. It was I instigated all of this, right? And I was the one who had the aggressive, hostile tone in the beginning. And on top of that, like, you guys, we have launched a Patreon and people have pledged to us, which means that we're getting paid money from people because they enjoy the work that we do. And there has to be a certain amount of accountability to that.
Right.
So we take things like this seriously. And I hope that we can impress upon you guys that, patron or not, we do care a lot about serious, real criticisms that could, if we don't comment on it, things could go bad, like if we don't comment on it, people will, think like, oh, they don't care. They don't look at the comments. They don't care what people think.
I don't.
you don't. No.
But no, I have to
you get feedback on Twitter. So
I do. Yes. But they're nice. They're not like, where's the next episode? Show tits,
Jesse,
like whatever.
Jesse, we're talking
YouTube
to these
comments.
people right now. Shh.
Oh, oops. But yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that you convinced me to, like, not convinced, but you asked, like, hey, I want to do this video. Do you want to join me in on it? And originally I was like, no, because I was like super depressed about how people were reacting. And I was kind of just laying around, just being a sad sack. and that's usually how I handle things like that. I just kind of shut down. But talking about it actually made me feel a lot better. So like, I actually feel really good right now. Though like I got shit off my chest, I guess.
All right. So I think we've gone on about this enough. Can we squeeze in another political metaphor here? I feel like we've been filibustering this whole time.
You're filibustering my balls, bro. We love you guys, and hope this cleared up some stuff. And I
hope
love
you guys don't veto our ideas.
Bye, guys. Have fun. Stuff.
Don't forget to vote on this video by hitting the like button.
God.
Yes, I'm proud of myself.
I hope so.
How can I show this to Mr. Jefferson?
It's garbage. Look at that. How did I even take that picture?
Yeah, that's, a reverse selfie stick where she's like holding it behind herself.
Maybe it's like Honey Pop and she stuck the selfie stick in her asshole and she's taking it from behind. Oh God, no, just forget I said anything. Just keep playing.
She's such a photo nerd. Look how much of a photo nerd she
Dude,
is.
it's so fast.
I'd say that her life is pretty strange with her
strange.
selfies from her butt and
I really. This is so lame. This fucking thing that holds the tools. What a lame thing. A tool bench.
I'm gonna come in her fort.
Okay. Look at her. Clearly that's already happened.